Troopers and grinders, it is I, your Grand General, Hank the Tank Grand Admiral. I control you. I am the Senate. Do it. Good. And this time, Troopers and Grinders, I will be breaking down some wrestling for once before my big trip that I am taking tomorrow to a certain country in the world, and I will be there for the next 2 weeks. So you're gonna get Hank the Tank in India for a few weeks. But first, I have to do one last stream before I ride off into the sunset. You're probably not going to see me for 2 days, guys, because this flight is pretty insane. It's pretty damn long, so you might not see me for a few days. I will return and figure out the scheduling for my streams while I am over there. So look forward to that, guys. Might be a brand new perspective from old Hanker in the channel. But until then, I wanted to go over a few wrestling shows that took place on Saturday, since I think one was very good and the other is sort of a bad sign for the future. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good subject to cover, given I want Hank's Warzone to be associated with more than just MMA. So I'm going to be going through AEW All Out and WWE WrestlePalooza. Doubt they ever use that name ever again. Man, what were they freaking thinking? Out of all the ECW pay-per-view names you could have used, WrestlePalooza, hell of a choice. But and the card sort of reflected how mid the name was. But without further ado, guys, I am going to get into it. Will you stream there? Yes, I will be streaming in India. I'm going to be streaming from there. Hopefully I find a room or a certain space where I can do my live streams. If not, I could find some places to walk down the street, do a little IRL, iPhone vertical stream, walking down the block, experiencing culture. I could do that. I might ask my friend about it. We'll see if we can get it done. But those are conversations for another day. In the meantime, I want to do one last stream from home before Hank has his Beatles leaving for India phase. So strap in, guys, because I am one last hurrah from American Hank before he fully gives his soul to the Hindus. Yeah, it's Beatles White Album. I'm gonna grow that beard while in India. I mean, maybe my face might be bald right now and clean shaven, but I'm gonna grow a big old mossy beard over there. Trust. So we're gonna get Hank in India, and then an album afterwards about how horrible the experience was, like the real ones. I'd love that. Yep, that will happen. Hopefully happen, Kobe. We'll see. I'll talk to my buddy about it. But in the meantime, let's get into the card. Actually, I got seven more minutes. Is there anything else you would like to discuss with Hank the Tank about wrestling or otherwise, or my upcoming trip and how it's going to affect streams before I hop into the recap? This should be a pretty brief stream, should be a short one, but I'm trying to get as much time out of it as possible. Also, we'll probably be reading from some cage match reviews. The results are already in about what people thought of the show, as well as the matches. So we're going to get deep dive into some of their thoughts on the matches. I was able to watch some highlights. The thing is, when you're an MMA fan, it's just sort of tough to you just don't have time for wrestling sometimes, because it's a big commitment, like 4, 5, 6 hours for one show. And meanwhile, you've already watched a bunch of MMA. So you have to sort of like multicast it, simulcast. And it's tough, man. It's tough. So yeah, Hank will mostly just get his reviews from what other people have been saying about the matches and try to form my overall opinion about it. From what I heard, All Out was a pretty damn good show. It looks like AEW is really picking up where WWE is left off. Where WWE is falling off, AEW is making gains. And honestly, I think that's really good for both companies, because it will force old Papa H. Hunter and his crew to try to improve the product and write better stories and book better angles and matches. Because if they keep up what they've been doing now, they might make money, but they're definitely going to lose popularity. So they need to take some lessons from how AEW is doing. All right, let's get into it. All right, so let me zoom in here. Start with AEW All Out, which has an 8.82 rating, which is pretty impressive for an AEW show. Usually their pay-per-views are pretty good. It's just the TV programming that's abysmally bad. But this one was pretty solid consistent from top to bottom. Had some 5-star matches, had some really good tag team action, multi-man stuff. The main event delivered. I'd say this is a pretty great show from what I'd heard. Just good action all the way through. Let's take a look. Yes, it was really good down the stretch. Good ladder match, main event singles match delivered, championship match. The gimmick match worked. The three-way match worked. Another gimmick match was really good. So, yeah, apparently AEW was delivering on all fronts. But we started with Edge and Christian, let's be honest, but it was Adam Copeland and Christian Cage took on FTR, Catch Wheeler and Dax Harwood. 18 minutes, good amount of time for a match like that. Just under 20, just over 20 is usually pretty good. You zoom in. Is that better? Yeah. Let's see what people. So see what people thought. 6.6, not bad. Implies it's a pretty decent match. Probably going to get 4 stars from Meltzer. Decent. Didn't seem to reach its full potential. FTR put in a good effort. Crowd seemed into it, but I don't feel the two teams really clicked. Got outshone by the post-match angle involving Beth, so this feud doesn't seem done. Yeah, so like a lot of FTR tag team feuds, first match maybe isn't as good as the second one or the third one. First one doesn't really deliver as much. Maybe it was just sort of a technical affair with some cheap spots, some nice pops, a little bit of chemistry here and there, but obviously it went less than 20 minutes, so they didn't have an epic, and then afterwards they spike pile drove Beth Phoenix. I don't know if they hit her with a concerto or an assisted pile driver or what, but yeah, they took out Beth, who's Adam's wife, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So feud is definitely not over. And apparently the post match was way more dramatic, way more effective. Got was more memorable, which is sometimes good. Which is good in tag team feuds because it actually allows for some heat to get put on a tag team, which can help them be a draw. So that's pretty good. Let's see. Match was going quite well until it paused, so we could look at a graphic for several seconds. I think that and Copeland kicking out of the Shatter Machine and winning easily just a few moments later dragged this match down. Also, not the best storytelling there. By the sounds of it on TV, it seemed like some of the live fans felt the same way, and I think you could feel crowd engagement shift. Jesus, crapping on 50-year-old wrestlers. Never going to live up to the expectations. I mean, come on. Edge has had good matches in his later years. Shenanigans was fun. Ending seemed off. Still finding their feet as a tag team, Edge and Christian. Great storytelling. Okay. That's decent. The least favorite match of the year. Jesus Christ. People's opinions are all over the place on everything. Then Eddie Kingston defeated Big Bill. Who cares? 7 minutes. Then a tables and tax match between Mark Briscoe and MJF. I'll be honest, guys, it does sort of suck that MJF has to sort of stoop to the Briscoe level of, oh, I'm an extreme match. Oh, thumbtacks and tables and CZW deathmatch stuff everywhere. And I don't know. Just something weird about it. MJF's a great technical wrestler, former AEW world champion, carries himself well as a ring general, can put on a real match, but now he has to have this gimmicked up match with, oh shit. Has to have this gimmicked up match with Mark Briscoe, a bunch of thumbtacks and tables and stuff, like it's, an ECW show. I just don't like MJF involving himself in matches like these. Apparently it was a good match, though. 8.17 rating, probably going to get 4.5 to a 4.25, 4.25 to 4.5 for Meltzer. Let's see what the people had to say. Really enjoyed this match. Fun, violent, the right guy won. MJF was the perfect villain, and putting away the tables was a great heel move. Nice. Vintage heel, classic heel. Briscoe has really become wrestling's current everyman character, and that just helped the match a lot. Nice. Dad with Mark Briscoe got slammed with the thumbtacks. This is disgusting. Why are we watching this? My dad, when MJF got slammed into the thumbtacks, take that, you little shit. Ludicrously fun match. He's a great wrestler, but matches where MJF just eats shit are so damn satisfying. All right. So it was a gimmick match where it was a payoff match where MJF got to get destroyed. It felt a bit samey. How many thumbtack back bumps they've taken? Okay, they took too many. Ending stretch was compelling and made up for the underwhelming first half. Overall, good match. One of the more enjoyable MJF matches in recent memory, which shows how much MJF is sort of declined as a wrestler, if we're being real. Goes a beast. This win should propel him to do something bigger, given that promo he had later on the show. Doesn't look to be too promising. Okay, so it was solid, brilliantly paced match, violent but not too violent. Didn't try to outshine the other no DQ matches. Result that I didn't see coming. Okay. This was a nice little upset for the babyface in a fun, violent match. Okay, that's good. But MJF really shouldn't involve himself in too many of these. The Demand beat the Hurt Syndicate, which sort of sucks because isn't the Hurt Syndicate supposed to be, solid? Aren't they supposed to be like the champions or something? I don't know, maybe they lost the belts. Mercedes Moné beat Riho in 15 minutes. Probably a back and forth war. Or maybe not a war, but, nice back and forth affair. Some good scrambles and moves, exchanges. Kazuchika Okada beat Konosuke Takeshita. Takeshita and Mascara Dorada. Three-way match for the Unified International Continental title. Jesus Christ. Who the fuck gives a damn about this belt, man? I guess Okada's giving it more prestige with good matches, but yeah, this is the guy that should have the belt right here. Good old Konosuke Takeshita. Yeah, I just don't know what it adds, really. They already have a mid-card belt. 9.11, though, on the match rating. That's pretty good. Tremendous match, the best on the card. Dorada was fantastic. His wrestling technique is obviously impressive. I don't think I've ever seen a Dorada match. What about his physical condition? Wow, he is so muscly, pal. Oh, he's a Greek goddess, pal. Takeshita was also very good, and even though Okada was a bit behind, I knew Okada was going to be the hardest pill to swallow about this match. They combined very well, especially during phases reminiscent of the NJPW style. Okay, that's good. Some NJPW action, that's good. In-ring quality, 3.75 out of 4, that's high. Stakes, 1.75 out of 2. I mean, I guess it is, since it's a title match. Justification, 101, place on the card, suspense. All right, that's good. Match seen on Triller TV. Okay. Exactly the match I expected to be. Wish they just pulled the trigger on the Takeshita versus Okada feud. Yeah, it would have probably been way more interesting. Have Takeshita finally get a big singles push headed into the C2 in November. Both guys gave Dorada a lot too. Wouldn't be surprised if he's dual contracted soon. Nice. He deserves it if he had a performance like this. Nice. 3 guys left a lot on the table. But the three-way style limited him. Way too much on elbows. Didn't do anything. Okay. Great mat. Fantastic. They are great as always. This teases something more. Presumably this C2 final. What is the C2 final? Okay, the Continental Classic, I guess. Yeah, that would actually be pretty good. Dude, the final between Okada and Takeshita would be awesome for that. Real standout was Dorada. Was asleep most of the day, and Dorada seriously woke them up and didn't walk away thinking that it would take something going extremely long for him to not be CMLL's next ace is really dumb. Wow, this worked out for everybody. Nice. That's cool. All right. Then we had Jon Moxley beating Darby Allin, 20-minute coffin match. That's long for a coffin match, but better be worth it. 8.38, though. That's a good rating. Good use of the stipulation. Very slow burn episodes. Violence start to finish. Brutal sequences without the excessive gore. Okay, that's good. Fork thrust. Of course, there's a fork involved. Christ's sake. Fucking Moxley. Choking someone. Ring quality 2.25. Stakes small. Justification was good. Was all good. 7. Who cares about Triller? Yeah, this match was fucking great. It might be the best coffin match of all time if you ask me. Match had fucking everything you could have asked for. Was also still leaving some things on the table for one more match. Darby Allin's a crazy motherfucker. He once again took some of the craziest bumps you'll ever see in a match, starting with the coffin drop from the crowd at the start all the way to Pac. Throwing him onto the Pac was there. With the coffin on the outside at the end. Ooh, that's brutal. Got the start of his revenge on Mox for FD as he tried to bite Mox's ear off, then did an even more brutal version of what Hanger did at All In with the fork to the head. Tope to put them both in the coffin mid-match was fucking crazy nice. It's a cool spot. Love Danielson giving Darby the paper bag to help him out to try and kill Ma. Wow. Okay, to try to murder him. That's a babyface thing to do. Jon Moxley, you are that guy. He delivered another sadistic, fucked up performance, beating the shit out of Darby, taking crazy bumps and violence. Finished with Pac coming back to help Mox whilst Darby was choking him to death, allowing him to get the win as it set up both a match between Pac and Darby. That is a great match. One final match between Mox and Darby. Hopefully a barbed wire. Ooh, Jesus, no, please. Also, I will include what we saw later in the night. Walks wanted to end Darby alone, but Darby fought him off. Stuck him in the body bag on fire. Yeah, nice. This match was as violent, fucked up as I expected to be. Slightly worried for the things they're going to do to each other next match. Literally be death. Didn't disappoint me. Brutal, violent. Best stipulation match on the card so far. Beat the crap out of one another. Nice. It's cool that Pac's back too. I really like Pac. I expected this match so much. Didn't disappoint at all. Poetry in motion. Could have been difficult to top all the great violent from the matches from the company had recently. They created something special, played their roles perfectly. I mean, they are their roles. They embody it, of course. Maybe not Moxley's heel character. I thought that Darby would win, and it would have kind of ended the rivalry. But it will continue and will still be awesome. I'm just afraid what they will do. Putting Mox on fire, Jesus. Bumps Darby took were terrifying. Might also be a match of the night, one of my favorite matches of the year. Can't get better than this. Nice. This is good a Moxley match as you could ask for. And I'll be right back. All right. Next match. Oh, wait. When did I get it? No, sorry. All right, now we're back. Next fight. I'm sorry. Next match. Chris Statlander defeated Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter and Thekla. Title change. Let's hear what people have to say about the title change itself. No matter how hard I try to look for the positives, it's hard to understand this booking decision. Max isn't shameful, nothing wrong with handing the title to Statlander, but ending Tony Storm's reign in a match that seemed too quick leaves a very bitter taste. Part of a booking process for the women's roster that seems truly underinvested. Random, terrible, the booking of the women's division showed this match, except especially how it came together and everything played out. One of the biggest deals, they just randomly ended it in a thrown together rushed 4-way match. 12 minutes. Second shortest match on the pay-per-view. Wow. Sandwich between the matches that Tony actually gave a shit about. Nonsensical, uninspired, bizarre. Wrapped up the title reign of one of the company's biggest stars. Booking decision ended up doing nobody any favors. Shit on Tony's past year, all the while doing nothing to set up the next champion. AEWs fans are justifying this. Unpredictable, create a big moment, blah, blah, blah. Match itself wasn't anything special. Giving them 12 minutes is such a disrespectful choice. Be funny if it wasn't so sad. Yeah, it'd be funny if it weren't so sad. And yeah, the match quality, great moment, doesn't save this booking malpractice from being one of Tony Khan's baffling decisions. What made Vince proud? Wow, terrible and abrupt. Hey, there will be a random women's heavy collision in a couple of weeks. Everyone will praise it. Lazily throw together a women's tag tournament. Soon to be forgotten tag titles. Everyone will talk about just how much better the women's division is, meanwhile ignoring the fundamental problems. Wow. It's extremely good. I've had a book a four-way match. Everyone looked great. I prefer to see Tony lose the title in a different 1v1 way. Yeah, if she was a great champion, she should have lost in a 1v in a singles match. All right. Then there was the four-way match, the AEW World Title between Bandito and Brody King, Jet Speed, Don Callis family, and the Young Bucks. See what people thought of this. Yet another fine example of how good ladder matches can be when they're well written. I think Hedgechero and Alexander could have done better. Overall, it was a thoroughly enjoyable and refreshing wrestling fireworks show before the main event. Nice. More time goes, the more I realize how hard to do a good ladder matches. Modern Spot Fest. I don't like those either. If you like this style, you'll adore this one. But for me, no, complete bullshit. Well, it's not zero. Really. Oh, fuck yes, this is just as I expected. Really fucking good. So many creative spots. Many moments that made me go, holy shit. This match was just dudes fucking each other up in the coolest ways they could possibly think of. Young Bucks once again showed how good they're in any type of match. I like they used their minor alliance with the DCF to get Josh and Hetchy to help them before it fell apart. Jet Speed, as I expected, shined in this match. So many cool spots. Both murdered at the end of the match. The way he set up the chicken fight was chicken fight. Boy. Knee drop on the ladder. Okay, that's pretty cool. Then murdered when Kevin had the ladder. He was unlifted and was dumped out the ring through tables. Speedball was gonzo bomb through a ladder. Nice. Sold it amazingly. Hetchy and Josh were the team. I wondered how they could fit in this match. They did really good. Liked how they worked their styles into the match. We got some great bits with Hetchy and Bandito. Josh and Brody, they also had some nice story with the Young Bucks. And Brodito are too fucking tough, as I expected. They were both great in this match. Brody using a ladder was fucking crazy. I was murdering poor Speedball. I'd love to see that. Bandito hitting the moonsault with the ladder was fucking insane. Ooh, all the good spots. Love the finish of this match with Jet Speed and DCF having died leading to it. Being Bucks versus Brodito. Brody taking them both out for them to retain, hoping it sets them up in a normal tag match. What a fucking match that was with so much insane shit throughout. Had me with my jaw on the floor. What the fuck did I just see? Godly car crash. Mad set pieces and moves. Broken tables and ladders. Really cool to see Jack Perry and the returning Luchasaurus again. Wish he came back here and not as Kill Switch, though. Solid 4-star match. Oh, yeah, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus reunited. They played the old theme song for the Jungle... What did they call themselves? Jurassic Express. That's right, Jurassic Express. They're back. And I actually like them as a tag team, so that's good. Nice. All right. And finally, the main event between Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher. 38 minutes. Great amount of time you could give them. 9.35. They delivered, clearly. See what the people thought of this one. Love these two wrestlers, so always happy to see them close the show. It's true that it seemed a little early for Fletcher to prevail. This story will be cleverly told throughout the build-up to this match. Was cleverly told. Justification is acceptable, but it takes away some of the suspense. Therefore, the immersion during certain phases. Nevertheless, the two men managed to put on a match built up intensity, big near falls that made an impact despite the predictable outcome. A sign that the writing of the match was of good quality, as was the execution, which was close to perfection, although one could criticize certain slowness at the beginning. Common start to produce a long match with a crescendo. Yeah, whatever. In-ring quality 3, stakes 2, justification 1. Let's see. 2 of my favorite wrestlers ever in a near 40-minute main event epic that delivered as I expected it would. Fuck yes, it was so good. Yes, I like most people expect Hangman to retain, but credit to Kyle as he had my questioning that for the whole match he battered Hanger. The match started with some great mat work. Started with some great mat work, showing how good both men are at it. They set the tempo for a methodical building of the pace and the tension for the rest of the match. Kyle then had long control portions, showing just how good of a heel that man is as he battered Hangman. Why is he calling him Hanger? About the place for long parts of the match. Crazy running dive off a chair over the barricade, which was just insanely good. Ooh, I'm going to have to check that out. I liked how this part of the match was done, as it was Kyle proving to Hangman and everyone else he belonged in the main event, ready to be world champion and put the company on shoulders. Super impressive for Kyle Fletcher. Super duper impressive. Man, he's come a long way in a very short period of time. From Ospreay's protege to this. That's impressive. Some great teases of the brain buster through the table on the outside. Jesus Christ, that would have been brutal. Before Kyle hit him with a stalling onto the timekeeper's table later in the match. Hangman is truly one of the best in the world. Anytime he main events a show, it is guaranteed match of the night contender. Here was a match of the year contender. Wow, that's high praise. One of the best bumping and selling performances I've seen in a long time during this match. Trying to find his way back in the match from underneath and getting the momentum back when he hit Kyle with the dead eye through the table. Ooh, brutal. Yeah, Hangman's good. He's really good at selling. His body's just very elastic and like a rag doll. It goes all over the place. The last parts of the match were godly. I love when people bring out their rivals and friends moves. We get Hangman hitting the V trigger, going for one-winged angel, nailing a big pressure for a 2. Kyle hitting the hidden blade for a near... Oh, yeah, like Ospreay. Nice. One of my favorite moments of wrestling this entire year is when Hangman went for the buckshot after the big pressure, and Kyle countered it to second brainbuster for a near fall. Danielson was on his feet shouting, "He is such a mark. It was so good." Why is Danielson there again? Like, stop having these interferences. And the finish, my God, the finish was good. As Kyle nailed more of his running corner kicks every single time he does, they look fucking brutal. Goes to set Hangman up for a top rope brainbuster onto the exposed buckle. Hangman fights him off and hit with him with an avalanche deadeye. Dropped Kyle right on his fucking neck. We can't have those spots, man. They're going to injure themselves at some point on a house show or something. Hit him with the buckshot for the 3. I hate it when they do spots like that. Oh my fucking Lord, what a match this is. I've not even spoke about everything I loved in this fucking match. Hangman once again added to his Wrestler of the Year portfolio with his 3rd godly main event of the year, showing he's one of the best of the 2020s. You know, I'm happy for Hangman. He's really proven himself as a top guy. Right, I've always known Kyle Fletcher would be that guy. Did not think he would become him at 26 years old, where he is having banger after banger. In my opinion, the Ospreay cage match was better due to the extra story and history. I feel this is the match where finally it's undeniable fact he's up there with the best in the world, only 26, provided the point that he is not just the future, but like Taz said, everyone on the roster is ready now. Not everybody. This is easily my top 10 for the year. One of the easiest 10s and scale breakers of the year for me. 5 1/4. 5.25 is pretty damn good. All right. Gem. Excellent chemistry. Methodical rhythm. Not explosive. Managed to make it move. Have an impact. Good. Excellent sequences. Reversals were great. Public at times was not very animated. Gave a strange feeling. Added to the methodical rhythm. Excellent. Seems like the crowd was dead for this one. Excellent kick out from Hangman. Fletcher's Brainbuster. Great spots. Dead Eye to the Table and Brainbuster. God, they did that spot. Come on. Surprising duration. Almost 40 minutes. Main eventer star, not in the future, but now. Fletcher fought toe-to-toe. Even surpassing him. Excellent ending. Okay. Match of the year contender. Public that made very slight reaction at time during the match felt slow. Fuck the crowd for that. Yeah. Where was this again? Was this in fucking London? Or was this Canada? You let them down, Canada. Stop being so fucking civil and quiet and get loud, mate. Get loud. Get loud, man. Get loud. All right. So that was All Out. Looked like a very solid show with a bunch of potential match of the week, match of the month contenders. Very good singles matches, it seemed. Even the ladder match, tag team match, three-way, seemed like they were all good. So I guess it was lightning in a bottle this time. Not so much for WWE and WrestlePalooza. Not very much at all. This card seemed to have one good match on it. So we'll get into that. All right, let's take a look at this. 5.64. Starting to become WWE's signature rating. Starting to become their calling card. It's getting 5s on pay-per-views. Horrible. Brock Lesnar beat John Cena. Only 8 minutes for a marquee match. Only 8 minutes for Lesnar versus Cena. Embarrassing. 2.3 rating. And Brock just basically murdered John Cena. And that's it. Just ragdolled him, picked him up, spun him around, put him through a table. They exchanged finishers. Brock Lesnar got up. It was sort of cool that Paul Heyman introduced Brock Lesnar for this. That was sort of cool. We'll see what happens there. But Lesnar just bullied Cena in even less time than the SummerSlam match. Why are you giving us the same thing twice? Nobody cares about that. It should have been a competitive 20, 30-minute war. Instead, he gave us 8 minutes of Brock dominating Cena again. It seems like a waste of booking. Oh my, what a stinker. John has some good matches this year, but this one really puts a downer on his retirement tour. Ouch. Brock coming back is something that I really didn't need this year. This match just proved it further. See what these two old-timers have left in the tank. Brock no-sells some punches in between clobbering Cena. They're talking to each other right from the start. We then get 3 AAs and 5 F5s. Ugh. So simple. Then the match is over. Literally no other wrestling. Very little offense from Cena. Interesting choice to have that amounted to a squash match on a pay-per-view. Cena's retirement run makes sense from a narrative standpoint, but leaves the audience for a less than engaging match. Bad match. Stupid opponent. Shouldn't even be there. Spamming at finishers. Losing a match like this when he has less than 5 dates is one of the worst booking decisions ever. Brock being back as well. Well, I mean, it could have been good if they actually put on a good match. This one deserves a 0. Dull match, completely unnecessary. Act disrespect for John Cena. I don't know what's next for him, but he deserves better, especially after his disappointing heel run. Had kids crying. I had fun. This Brock sticking around, or they're setting him up. Take the loss in Cena's final ever match. This accomplished exactly what it needed to. Reminded everyone that Brock is what Brock's about. Came back bigger than ever and destroyed WWE's greatest of all time. Had kids crying. They did. I've seen the footage of it. It was pretty brutal for the kids. So at least they got that image. But why is Cena last year always having kids crying, man? I get that people aren't happy. So Cena's final match is ending in what is essentially a squash loss. This was great. I'd like some explanation behind his reunion with Heyman. Sets him up joining the heels inside War Games. Yeah, it just seems like it seems like a rerun, you know? Seems like we've seen this before. Then we had the Vision beat the Usos, 17-minute match. Special referee LA Knight. Okay, I'm actually sort of interested. What happened here? Really enjoyed the match. I just think it was weighed down by the stinker. That was John versus Brock. Weighed down by a previous match. Jesus Christ, it was that bad. Jay getting busted open was really scary. Glad it happened late enough in the match. He didn't have to wrestle long. Jimmy shined. I think he's so underrated. Can be very solid in the ring. Bronze are just average in this match, but I can't really complain. They've been wrestling a lot lately. It took forever to get started. Hour into the show, and all we've seen is a squash match. By the time this gets going, LA Knight is an entertaining addition. Good. LA Knight should keep having good momentum. Braun Breaker again shows off impressive athleticism. No DQ tornado match. Whoever pinning whoever. Pretty impressive moonsault. They should have milked it more because it was really something. I doubt it was something. Somehow Jay gets hardway juice right before the finish. It's all right. The Heat had some interesting moments. Mostly slow, extra point for the moonsault. Average tag fair, heavy on exposition on the no storytelling. Ugh, I hate that. No flow. Finish was clunky. Jay so botched and bled was weird. Still got the right winners. LA Knight involvement was good. All right. Then we had an actual good match. Then we had an actual match that deserved to be on pay-per-view between Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky. And Stephanie Vaquer is your new WWE Women's World Champion. And she deserves it. Where is she from? Puerto Rico? Isn't she from Puerto Rico? I'm gonna look that up. Where's it? Cuba? Oh, from Chile. That's right, Chile. And she's really good. And her and Io have really good chemistry. Look, they got the perfect amount of time for a title match too. Nice. Stephanie Vaquer is definitely a star. I saw wrestling fans dressing up as her when I was at WWE at WrestleMania World. There were people dressing up. There were women dressing up like Stephanie Vaquer, and she hadn't even debuted on the main roster. So she's definitely going to be a star. I'm so glad they put the rock, gave her the rock, not the rock, but the belt. All right, time for what should be match of the night. They trade some chain spots. We see some flipping around from Io. Beautiful drop kick from Io. Crazy top rope splash from Stephanie. Nice. Impressive Hurricane Rana from Io. Wouldn't expect any less. Eat some feet on a moonsault attempt. Nice. Stephanie hits her finish, but Io kicks out. The actual finish is a spinal tap, which looks insane. Oh, spinal tap. Like AJ Styles spinal tap. That's amazing. Big win for Vaquer on what is basically her main roster debut. Holy crap, the women of WWE are really the best part of this company. Consistently put on best matches of the show. This match was just proving it. Io Sky had so many banger matches this year. Seems unreal. Having Stephanie win a world championship so early in career really shows. WWE thinks Stephanie's the next big thing in this company, and it seems to me like she is. The fact that so many people are interested in her, were interested in her before she even made her main roster debut shows that she's got something. Stephanie winning was great. Match before was really great. Really liked the crowd, had no interferences. Good. Only thing that could have made this match better was the bad crowd. Ending with the spiral tap from Stephanie Vaquer was also really excellent. Finally get the chance to go out there and deliver the kind of match we all know they're capable of. Well done chain wrestling, gradually building the intensity. Took their time. Told the story of how evenly matched they were, how they have to one-up each other. Believable near falls. Could have gone either way. Crowd chanted Vaquer's name. Hit a beautiful corkscrew moonsault for the win. Okay, so it's either a spinal tap or a corkscrew moonsault. What is it? Genuinely great finish to a match that lived up to the hype. Very happy. It was a clean result. No interference. Take away from Vaquer's first title win. Truly a star-making moment. Very good. Very good. Stephanie is the GOAT, though. No bias. Okay, this was a huge success. Both women also bowed to each other, and as a sign of respect, Io bowed to Stephanie, and Stephanie bowed back. And that's the stuff you find between Israel Adesanya and Anderson Silva in the cage. So it's really well told drama and storytelling. This was a success. And then we had a match of mixed opinions between Punk and AJ, the now returning AJ Lee, which I'm so happy about, taking on the Vision, Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. This went how long? 30 minutes for a mixed tag team match. Jesus Christ. All right, what did people think of it? It had an all right review. All right. Maybe it gets 4 stars, maybe 3.25, 3/4. Super fun tag match. Bit long, yes. I had a good time with this one. AJ looked really good in her first match back in 10 years. So you can nitpick some stuff here and there, like how the rules somehow ended being ignored. Yeah, that is true. Both wrestlers did hit each other with moves, so that does take away from the rules of a mixed tag match. AJ's punches, but the deeper the match went, the more comfortable she looked. AJ's punches were rather stale. They were sort of light and wacky a little bit, sort of unrealistic, loosey-goosey. Really looking forward to the inevitable Becky-AJ match. Hopefully it happens at Crown Jewel. This match ruled. Feel a little confused watching this match. Wasn't very good. Don't think it was particularly good at all. Jesus Christ. Certainly entertaining, but only for 10 to 15 minutes with its ridiculous 29-minute length. Match length is one of the 2 major problems. Second being that AJ is not a good professional wrestler. Ouch. I was ecstatic upon her return, but in retrospect, I think it's just because my life is boring. I like when different shit happens. Okay, dude, shut the fuck up. As you might expect, this match is full-on classic, Memphis-style heel tag team shit, teasing the tag to AJ Lee for the majority of the match. All 4 of these performers are quite talented, made it work well. AJ Lee does look a little rusty in there, to be honest. This match isn't supposed to be a technical masterpiece. Things break down, and we get all 4 in the ring. At one point, Lynch is giving the sharpshooter to Punk and vice versa. He's lost all the rules, going for the pin. Stuff like that kind of takes me out of things. All this Gaga is definitely getting the crowd going, though. It's a pretty gnarly table spot, and Lee hits her finish. Overall, pretty fun and a spectacle. Okay, did not resemble a wrestling match. This match was perfection. I've seen some complaining about how long it was, but I really liked how long it was. AJ Lee never got to have super long matches. This truly has shown the progression of women's wrestling. Becky did a very good job. Becky and Seth are so funny together. AJ picks up the match. She did fine here. The rest was there. Table spot was the highlight. I thought she hit a curb stomp on Seth at one point. Just Becky and Seth sold well. AJ submitting Becky was great. Entertaining. The submission looked clunky. Very entertaining. Yeah, they were hitting finishes on each other like women's wrestlers hitting their finishers on men's wrestlers and men's wrestlers hitting their finishers on women's wrestlers. I got to watch the match back. I got to give my take because apparently people are sort of split right down the middle on this. And then the main event between Cody Rhodes, for WWE World Champion, and Drew McIntyre, 6.4. That's a terrible rating for Cody versus Drew. Come on. Worse than the mixed tag. Yikes. This is a good match. Wouldn't recommend anyone go back and watch it. It was just there. Drew and Cody are both very good, but this wasn't the strongest performance from either of them. Could have been like 20-ish minutes, not 16. Okay, so it's too short. Well paced and kept my interest. No boring heat sections. It was an exciting back and forth. McIntyre jumping ass over tea kettle out of the ring is totally crazy thing to watch. Ending was kind of crap, but they had me convinced Drew could win. Decent match. Cody and Drew are 2 good wrestlers. Nice back and forth. Then we got to a dumb moment where Drew sets up to put Cody through the announce desk with the Claymore like he did before. Referee decides to get in the way. I remember fans weren't happy with the referee. They thought he was fucking up the spots and taking away the momentum of the thing and being unfair. Nothing illegal about this. Hesitation allows Cody to move out of the way. To make the ref look even dumber, Drew removes the turnbuckle padding and the ref goes outside to get it so he can put it back on, missing a Drew pin that would have won him the match. And that happens. I've seen that spot before, and in a video game, no less. Shortly after Drew gets pushed and exposed turnbuckle, crossroads, and that's it. Lame. All that just to set up an obvious rematch after Drew was screwed over multiple times. I hated all the ref shenanigans. Not sure why this was the main event. Filler defense. Good match, but needed more. I don't know, like why refs try to protect Cody for no reason. Main event ends in a predictable ending. Match was okay, could have been better. Surprised it was only 16 minutes. Why was this the main event? Story's exciting as a wet slice of bread. Nobody expected Cody to lose. Interesting. Yeah, it's a lot of the same complaints. So looks like the ref was absolutely awful here. Jaime Mendoza says WrestlePalooza was okay. Was waiting for Brock to F5 Cody Lesnar for WWE Champion 2025. Well, that's the thing, Jaime. I mean, he's going to be involved with Cena probably for the foreseeable future of this year. I think Cena and Brock are definitely going to rematch, and Cena's probably going to get his win back. Probably going to bookend the year too. So I don't think Brock's going to be champion in 2025. Maybe 2026 or 2027, which is honestly crazy to say, but I think Brock, he's occupied with Cena at the moment. If he does win the championship again, it is probably going to be from Cody, though. That or maybe Orton. Maybe Orton. Yeah. But, I don't think Brock's going to be champion this year. He's going to have to wrestle Cena one more time or have a few other matches, but that is going to do it for me. Hank the Tank is probably going to be signing out. AEW All Out was fucking garbage. All Out was spectacular. It was a really solid show from top to bottom. Lots of great matches that are probably very rewatchable, and I will probably do that. And meanwhile, the only good match on WrestlePalooza, probably one of the worst names in WWE pay-per-view history, is probably Vicaire versus Io Sky. Cena versus Brock shit the bed. Cody versus Drew was mid. The mixed title match got mixed reviews. So, yeah, it seemed like not the best effort from WWE, but you could honestly say that of a lot of their shows recently. So, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you all for watching. I've been Hank the Tank. You've been the Troopers and Grinders. And of course, you've escaped the war zone for now. Yeah, I'm going to watch All Out. Hangman's on the rise, brother. And I felt threatened.